Hey guys, and welcome to the Natty Blueprint podcast. This is episode 25 and the penultimate episode until Denny's first show. I'm sure Denny will probably catch up after your show, and then there'll be probably another pod. Oh no, maybe not. You'll probably have
No,
a little bit of a catch up next show after the show, and then that'll be your following show, won't it? So might
yeah,
be a little
so
bit scarce on the
we're gonna
podcast.
have an every other week probably
Yeah,
for a little
just
bit.
until Denny's finished up his show. So it
Yeah,
might be a little bit less frequent than every Monday, and we apologise for that. But obviously, bodybuilding and stuff needs to come first. And if you want to follow the process, then be sure to follow me and Danny on Instagram because we document it a lot um,
absolutely.
over his show day. But mate, how you doing? 9 days out.
That's mad.
How's it feeling? You're now further into prep than you've ever been.
Exactly. Someone said that today in the gym. They was like, "Oh, how many weeks out are you?" I was like, "It's not really weeks anymore. Like it's a week and a bit." So I'm now counting it on my fingers. So
Yeah,
yeah, pretty good, I guess. Apart from yesterday, we can touch on that a little bit, but yeah, like sound really in the grand scheme of things. Obviously, there's some days where I'm like written off. It's usually a Friday, but today I feel all right. A bit more food going in, so yeah. 9 days out. It's getting close. Looking forward to it. So
yeah,
yeah,
yeah. Just as like a little bit of a thing then basically this week what we've done is we pulled expenditure back. Denny still had like lower days of food, but it's still had a real pullback in terms of expenditure. So cardio's been was cut from like Tuesday, wasn't it, or something? I
yeah,
think
pretty much. Yeah, I think I've
Tuesday was
done
your last cardio session.
Monday or
10k
Tuesday.
steps since what, last weekend?
Yeah. So yeah,
So
it's been.
expenditure's been pulled right down. But unfortunately, we had the incident of the migraine or the weird issue yesterday. So I don't know if you want to
Yeah,
touch on that.
I thought I was going blind and dying. So woke up as normal. Checked in with boss man. Um, hydrated. Went to the shop. Got some petrol. On the way back, my eyes just went weird. I had like streaks of light across both eyes. I was like, this isn't quite right. Then I started to get a little bit of a headache. Sat down, had my first meal. It was a rest day, so not really any or many carbs in it, to be honest. Um, and then within 20 minutes, I was like, I'm in trouble here. Something's wrong. And I just had to go to bed. Like, I'm pretty sure it was a migraine, which I don't think I've ever had, obviously, like headaches. But literally, I went upstairs and I slept for 3 hours. Bearing in mind, this was at 8 a.m. I slept for 3 hours. So yeah, woke up, felt much better. Slight headache later on in the day, but yeah, it was like a sudden rush of pain. Bright light, sensitive, curtains closed, hood up, and I was freezing cold as well, which was a bit strange. I didn't quite get that. Literally, I
That's
went
what
to
I thought it
bed.
was hypo.
I went to bed fully clothed with my hood up and a beanie on, and I was
Yeah,
still cold.
yeah.
So, and it wasn't
Interesting.
cold yesterday. Well, I mean, it wasn't sunshine, but it wasn't like 10 degrees. But yeah, and then woke up today absolutely fine. So
Weird. Weird.
we'll take that, considering I'm now what 19, 18 weeks in, and that's the first real hiccup. We'll take
Yeah.
it.
Yeah,
Could
that's
have
the first
done
low.
with it being a little further away from show number one, but we'll move.
Yeah, I mean, like I said this to Kate yesterday. So obviously I just said, "Oh, Danny's got a bit of a migraine today," and I just like voiced my opinion. I was like, "Okay, we'll see what the look's saying tomorrow and see where everything's at." But I was like, "I'm just so glad it's not 2 days out from the show."
Yeah, yeah.
Like if it happened, or 3 days out. If it happened next Thursday, then I'd be like, "Oh
Oh
shit!"
shit.
Right,
Yeah,
okay. But obviously we've got time to
yeah. Like I
manipulate
don't think the
things. So
visual changed in terms of the shots,
no,
but
no,
scale weight was up, which threw me a little bit. So I
yeah.
was sort of like, especially after a
Considering
rest day yesterday.
yeah, you had a low day of food yesterday and you went up like half a pound. But that is
Yeah,
a very kind of common response, right? Like when things aren't right, like we obviously don't know what induced the migraine.
yeah,
Maybe it was some external stresses that you're not very that conscious about at this point in time. It
yeah.
could have been anything, right? And
I mean,
it
prep is
reflects in the
stressful,
look.
so like on
Yeah,
the body in general. And
yeah,
also, like,
exactly.
I tried to like rationalize it by obviously I slept for an extended period of time yesterday, which I wasn't then moving, which is yes, my steps were still the same, but like just my activity, I guess you could say, was reduced in a day. So I sort of was like, oh, let's put it down to that. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if you're lighter tomorrow and you drop
yeah,
back down to kind of baseline, which is kind of what we want heading into peak week, you being at that baseline. I mean,
yeah,
we've freshened you up really nicely this week. I think like the physique has just responded, even though your scale weight hasn't really changed much. And actually, I
yeah,
think you're what, a pound heavier than your lightest.
yeah. And that
I
was a
think the
big drop
physique
as
has
well.
really
I don't
tightened
think
up.
we saw the 157s again after that one big drop, did we?
Yeah, yeah, which
Maybe
I think
maybe
that was just
again.
really flat and depleted
Yeah,
looking back at it. Because I do compare your shots when I'd like get you in. Do you know the app Moldiv? And I
yeah.
literally just use Moldiv, and I'm like, okay, what was it a couple of days ago? What was it like? And
Okay.
I always compare just because I think it's so good to put those visuals side by side.
Yeah,
Um, and I was like, actually, he looks better now, a pound heavier than what you did when you were
yeah.
157.
One
So
thing I do notice, just with obviously we've kind of trickled food up on the odd day here or there, is my chest just feels a lot fuller day to day, like
yeah,
which is a good thing because that's an area for me that flattens out. So
yeah. I think
yeah,
just the biggest thing for you this week is just pulling that expenditure down.
yeah,
I think that's really, really helped. And this, I kind of like to call it like priming for a peak week, right? Like you're reducing that expenditure down.
yeah,
You're getting that body in a good position where it's going to be responsive to the carbohydrates. So obviously peak week. We actually got a question. I think it was James likes it hard, Linford, and he asked
yeah,
how we're going to approach the peak week. And it's probably a good time to talk about it now, really. But
yeah. Let's go for it.
um, how I visualize approaching the peak week is just a simple linear load. Now, because I've seen Denny a lot of times in person, he obviously sends me shots fasted in the morning and sends me shots post workout as well. I understand his physique. He usually wakes up quite dry. And you came around my house last week, last Sunday?
Sunday, yeah,
Yeah. And you didn't have any fluid, any food, nothing, literally straight up on wake. And I was like, fucking hell, he's dry.
yeah,
So that was after a day of decent amount of carbs. Obviously, not as much as carbohydrates you'll probably be having in peak week, but I was like,
yeah,
all right, he wakes up fairly dry. Obviously, we've got peak max there as a little bit of a support if we need to pull off a little bit of extracellular fluid. But at this point in time, I think we'll be fine. We're just running the linear load. Maybe on the Saturday, just pulling down water a tad. So obviously the water intake and your sodium intake will align with your carbohydrate intake. So as you'll be probably eating less carbs the day before the show, you will probably just pull down that water intake just a
yeah,
touch. So that's how we'll be peaking. Obviously, it's kind of hard to say how this is exactly what I'm going to do on each day
yeah,
because you've got to be responsive to the
yeah.
daily look.
Yeah,
Um,
it's all well and good saying, "Oh, we're gonna throw in X amount of carbs," but you don't know until
yeah,
I might wake up really watery one day, and you're like,
yeah.
"Okay, let's not bump in another 700 carb because that clearly didn't work."
Yeah,
So
exactly,
yeah,
exactly. So yeah, it's just being responsive. This is one thing I say to everyone when it comes to peak week: play with what you know. Play. You've been doing this whole prep. Treat it like the best outcome is predictability, right? And the
yeah,
predictability is what you've been running the whole prep. So
yeah,
don't do anything stupid.
yeah.
Like
So
if you,
keep food sources similar or stuff that you've probably at least had within the last 8 weeks. I'd say is a good
yeah,
idea. Um, and obviously food volume is going to be another one as well. So obviously, depending on what you want me to eat, I'm assuming it's going to be more or less the same.
yeah,
If I'm putting water in things, reduce the amount of water, things like that, because we don't want to be bloating. But yeah, just keep it pretty basic.
yeah,
So yeah, I can't imagine, which I said to you the other day, I can't imagine we're going to be running like 900 grams of
no,
carbs.
no. Do you know what? Like that, I think with you because of men's physique and the criteria, keeping you tighter is a better option than trying to get you blasting full. Because
Yeah,
if you get blasting full, there's going to be a lot of food going on in which causes a little bit of midsection distension. We don't want midsection distension. We want a
yeah,
nice, really tight midsection. So even on the Friday, I'll probably ask you to cut out veg and anything that can cause bloating or cause a little bit of like GI discomfort.
yeah,
And then on the Saturday as well, be probably no veg. Sunday, no veg. And it would just be literally basic food, whole source food, which will just keep that midsection super, super tight running into the show on Sunday.
yeah,
And then, yeah, it should be a fairly straightforward peak, mate, hopefully.
yeah. Hopefully,
And
fingers
then,
crossed.
yeah, if
Fingers
we
crossed.
need to use peak max to pull off some fluid, then we can do that. But we tried peak max a few weeks ago and
Yeah,
it did help a little bit, but I didn't think it was
it was a
too
pretty moderate,
drastic.
well, from what you said anyway, pretty moderate serving of it anyway. So I
Yeah,
think that was after,
a
what was
high
the
day.
carb? It was like 500 carb,
Yeah, yeah,
which, yeah, was, for me is pretty high.
yeah.
So yeah, we
I
shall
think that's
see.
something a lot of people get wrong is they just pump themselves full of so much carb, and then they lose a lot of detail
Yeah,
and they spill. And the physique is not. You haven't been eating 500, 600, 700 grams of carb all prep, so your
yeah,
body's that you don't know the response. The best way of doing it is just linearly loading the
yeah. For
carbohydrates.
example, if we put in what we've been doing and it's still like, okay, we could probably push it a bit more, then you do it. You don't guess and then go, oh shit, we need to claw it back now.
Yeah, yeah. The only time I've done like aggressive carb loads is when the I've looked at. So, for example, a great example, big old Millen Tom, he'll love this example. But we had a few shows that are back to back weekends in 2023, and we basically said, okay, what's our show priority? What show do we want to be in the best for, right? And this was, I think he had three British finals in the space of 3 weeks. So it was like back to back weekends, or maybe a space of 4 weeks. And I said there was the BNBF, the UKDFBA the following week, and then I think there was a break, and then I think there was the WNBF. And I just said to him, I was like, look, the BNBF's great, but you're still a junior in the UKDFBA. Let's keep pushing until like Thursday before the show. Then we cut cardio, and then I think I gave him a pretty significant amount of food. I think I even peaked him on a Five Guys as well.
No.
Like, but Tom responds really well to a Five
Yeah,
Guys.
it's low volume, like
Yeah,
for the amount of calories and stuff you're getting in it, and some people do just look bursting full when they eat that sort of food.
yeah,
I'd probably bloat and feel
yeah.
like
So
shit
would I.
afterwards.
My stomach would just be in bits.
Yeah,
But yeah, like so that's when I've been a little bit more aggressive with it, and that's when you have to be a little bit more aggressive for trying to pull the fluid off as well.
yeah,
But for you, I think like linear load is you can't really fault it.
yeah.
So yeah,
We will see. So yeah, that's the answer to that, James. If you
if
want to
you're
know,
wondering about the peak,
yeah. So yeah, we shall see. What about you? Any updates for you? I watched your YouTube this morning.
did you? Did you like it?
I did. I think I was the first person to watch it and like it.
Really?
Yeah.
Nice,
It
bro.
was still on the premiere and it said one watching and it was, I assume it was me.
Yeah, probably. I don't know if I'm going to premiere it again because I think premieres don't work out as well.
Yeah.
I'm not too sure.
Yeah.
But
So
yeah,
yeah.
but in terms of things with me at the moment, mate, I've been through a bit of the ringer at the start of this week. I
Oh,
was
one
Sunday
sec.
felt pretty
I-
dead.
I've lost the Riverside. Oh, there it is. Got it.
Can you still hear me?
Yep, got ya.
Yeah, cool. Sunday felt pretty dead as the afternoon dragged on. Went in for legs on Monday and it completely wrote me off.
Oh
It
dear.
like it got home just zero brain function. I was like, okay, cool. So then in the morning I messaged AJ and I was like, look, mate, I've been absolutely smashed it for the past 10 weeks. I'm very kind of like intuitive with how my body feels, and
Yeah.
I was like, look, I probably need a devolume. Like we've obviously been dieting now for 11 weeks or whatever it is. Been pushing training really hard for this 10 weeks as well. Probably need to take the foot off the gas because I'm starting to feel these signs now. I think even a couple of weeks ago I mentioned it in my
Yeah.
check-in where I was like, all
And you
right,
pulled off a fair amount of body weight as well.
yeah, close to 20 pounds now. So
Yeah.
I was like, right, okay, probably time to call a deload, a devolume. And yeah, mate, I just felt wrecked. Monday to Wednesday, I felt wrecked. Yesterday wasn't too bad. Today, I'm starting to feel a bit better. So I'm assuming legs tomorrow will probably be devolume as well. But yeah, it was brutal. It was
Oh dear.
brutal.
Yeah.
But I think it's good to experience that. Like a lot
Yeah.
of people can't like understand that feeling of like I hate to use the word fatigue because it everyone apparently hates the word fatigue now, but it is a thing. Um, but it is just a sign of fatigue build-up. So yeah, the D volume is more than welcomed, and scale weight pretty much shot up as well, which was frustrating. So I was
Yeah.
like, "Right, okay, I've got zero cognitive function. I'm tired. I just like in the gym, I'm just feeling like I'm just trying to get through the motion of it, and I was
Yeah.
like, okay, I need to pull
That's
back
one
a little
thing
bit.
that I could, obviously you train in the afternoon slash evening, don't you?
Yeah,
I could not, even on loads of food. Like I'm just not as alert,
yeah,
just generally. And I think that's why I like to get the bulk of just everything done in the morning. So on top of being in prep, plus being at work the entire day, etc. Yeah, so no wonder you felt like trash because I couldn't do that.
Yeah, it just you obviously you adjust to it, right?
Yeah, of
But
course.
I do find on weekends I enjoy my week. I maybe feel a little bit more focused on my weekend sessions than I do because I work for 9 hours and then I go to the
Yeah,
gym, right?
yeah,
Like so there's probably like an element of mental fatigue, I suppose you could put it, from working.
yeah.
Look at us, big science guys. Um, but yeah,
Just
like
get on with it, mate. You don't
yeah,
need a devolume.
just get on with it. Yeah, but do you know what? That was running through my head.
Yeah.
It was going
There
through my
is a
head. I was like,
fine line. Like, there is a thing of like, you do just need to kind of crack on sometimes.
yeah,
Like, there's days where I don't want to do my fucking steps. I'm fatigued, so I'm not going to do my steps. Like,
yeah,
you can't really have that approach. But obviously, if you know your body, obviously, you worked with AJ before as well. Like, you know where that point is where you're like, okay, this isn't quite where it should be. What can we do here? Which, in your case, was obviously devolume. So,
yeah, exactly. But yeah, there is a fine line because sometimes you just want to go, ah, fuck it, I'll push through it. But then I'm like, "Oh, if I push through it, I'm gonna feel even worse next week, and I'm probably gonna have shit sessions, which is just
yeah.
gonna send the week off in a bad way."
Do
So
you know what really triggers me?
go on.
When I'm not going to name names because that's not the right thing to do. But when you see a person in the gym that, oh yeah, I'm on deload or devolume, but they don't train hard. Like, what are
Yeah,
you deloading from?
no fatigue. It
Like, you've not built up any fatigue unless you're like eating dust. But at that point, you probably need to adjust your
yeah.
nutrition
The worst thing
because
I see is like I, it's like no, with clients sometimes is they message me every like after 6 or 8 weeks of being on a mesocycle, and they're like, "Mate, I've done 6 to 8 weeks. When we're going to call a devolume or a deload?" And I'm like, "When you feel trashed,
yeah,
like when you feel
when you start
buckled,
training a bit harder,
when you feel buckled, that's when we're going to call a deload."
yeah,
Luckily, I work with a lot of guys who are very like intuitive with their physique, with their bodies, but there is the odd people, and I'm like, just keep cracking on, bro, because
yeah, we're not there yet. Carry
yeah,
on.
you've rated all of this week's sessions as fantastic. Like, just keep
Yeah,
going.
I think we've had like one in my prep.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. And that's probably
Yeah,
all you needed. Like realistically, training fatigue. So there's like training fatigue and diet fatigue, right? In a prep, you're not going to be getting stronger. If anything, you're probably going to be getting a little bit weaker. So the amount of
yeah,
fatigue that you're going to accrue through training is going to be less than what it would be in an off season when you're consistently progressing numbers and putting more load on the bar.
yeah,
So you don't necessarily need it. I won't be surprised if I don't run another D volume now until I'm like 8 to 6 weeks out. Like
yeah,
I'll just keep cracking on. And if honest, I hate running D volumes. I hate them.
yeah. They're boring.
Yeah, I hate them. I'd
Yeah,
rather go in the gym and train full volume, but I know the purpose and I'll get through this week.
yeah.
But yeah. Anyway, should we crack on with some questions, mate? Because we've been
We've
rambling
waffled
on for
for
nearly 20 minutes
20
now.
minutes. We have. Let's begin. Let's take it from the top. So we've got Milling Tom. How's training? Question mark. Mine's. I mean, we've just covered that.
Yeah.
Mine's all right, to be fair. It's not taken nearly as much of a hit as it did last year. The only thing that's really dropped is pressing, which I think happens to a lot of
Yeah.
people. And there's the odd day where I'm having to find myself just snap out of me, just gazing into nowhere because I'm just like,
Yeah.
just kind of zoned out a little bit.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's that. Obviously, we know what Max is training. And then lowest of prep so far, which we've also touched on. So, sorry, Tom, but we're not going to go into too much details. 157.4, point 6.
Yeah.
And we've been pretty much 158 for the most part,
Yeah.
with the anomaly of today, 159.
Yeah. My
So
lowest
yeah,
is 180.2.
yeah. So Max has got some mass on me.
I've still got 20 pounds to pull off, bro. Don't worry. I'm still fat.
Dear. So yeah, there you go, Milling Tom. Louis Raymond, who is coming to my first show, which is quite
Is
cool.
he?
He
Awesome.
is. So what's the maximum amount of Jaffa cakes you could reckon polish off in one sitting?
0 because they're fucking chocolate orange and they're grim.
Oh no! Oh yeah, I forgot you don't like chocolate orange.
Do Oreos.
In one
Honestly,
sitting, I could probably do like 100 easy.
you reckon you do 100 Jaffa cakes?
Easy. They're only
Oh, mate,
little.
I'd be sick. That
What's it like? There's got to be I have not had a Jaffa cake in forever. There's got to be at least 10 in like the tube that they
you reckon
are.
you could do 10 packs of Jaffa cakes?
Yeah.
You're so in prep, bro. There's
That's
no
just for
way you're
breakfast,
doing
mate.
10. There's no way.
I'm gonna do a post-prep 10,000 calorie Jaffa cake
No, you're
challenge.
not.
I wonder how many Jaffa cakes that would be to hit 10,000
Saying that, I'm
calories.
I'm now thinking like obviously we could change it to like Oreos. Could probably do 100 Oreos.
Oh yeah, easy.
Like not even thinking about it. Just
How many Jaffa cakes to hit 10,000 calories?
how many calories are in a Jaffa cake? Like 50?
46 calories.
Yes, you're eating a lot.
So I'd have to eat like 200 Jaffa cakes.
Yeah,
I could across the day, I could do that.
no
You
way.
space that out, you do 20 every,
Yeah, you could do it. It's just
that'd be
you'd
easy.
get
Like,
Jaffa caked
if
out.
you just
You wouldn't
think
go
of the
Jaffa cake.
size of 10 Jaffa cakes, it's not a lot. This is like unreal
You
content right
just
now.
compress them down
Yeah, just
just
squish
in
them
one.
down a little bit. Make a little
Oh,
Jaffa cake sandwich.
fucking Christ.
So yeah, I reckon I could do anywhere between 150 and 200 if I was pushing it.
I wouldn't
I'd
eat
be
one.
sick, like at the end of the day, but I'd get it in.
Jank. Honestly, jank.
So there you go.
I've got a question from the Dandelion, Josh Dandy. Funniest thing that has happened in prep or a previous one?
I quit.
Could be that.
Funniest thing. I don't really know. I don't really have any funny prep stories.
Sorry, I'm just sipping my decaf coffee. Um, this is a great podcast. Funny stories. I crashed my car in my first prep. That was
Good.
good. I reversed into someone, then drove down the road and cried.
Good. I mean, I've had to take a few like toilet breaks on the road in a bottle
Yeah,
just because I'm pissing like a racehorse. That's
that's
about as.
standard. I find that process of pissing in a bottle so stressful.
You think?
Oh mate, it's such a stressful process. It's gone wrong so many times. Yeah, literally. I think did I tell the story of when I was driving to uni and just
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
it just
I
came
don't
out
know
of the
what
bottle.
episode it was, but you'll have to go back and find it, everyone. So you got to watch
Yeah,
all of them.
I think it's called Max's Toilet Stories.
Yes.
Um, but yeah, nothing really that funny has happened on a prep.
I've got one from the Dandelion as well. What's been the best part of prep so far? Um, how smoothly it's gone for the most part, and that I'm now further in than I was last year. Um, yeah, just kind of how it's run and kind of where my headspace is at with it this year, I'd guess, to summarize it. Just it's been a lot better, enjoyable, and I don't hate my life,
Yeah.
which is the main thing.
Did you find last year you disliked the whole process of?
Not the whole, like once it got to that tail end of it, then yeah, I was sort of like it become just like a downward spiral kind of thing. But yeah, I'd say I think just in general, just my mindset towards bodybuilding is a lot different to what it was last year in general. And obviously that in itself helps and carries itself. And then just my experience as well through knowing what a shit day feels like on prep. I think I've handled it pretty well. I wouldn't say it's been easy, like, because it's not, but just kind of how I'm handling it is completely different. So
What would you say the changes in mindset like from last prep to this prep?
less pressure
Like
and
external or internal?
both.
Both.
Yeah. Or my ability to push away pressure that's come from external this year is a lot better. For example, there's people that are like, "Oh, you're gonna do amazing." It's like, and I just, as much as it comes from a good place, like I just kind of not disregard it, but I just try and dull it down a little bit. But like, we'll see,
Yeah.
because we will. Like, I have no idea what's gonna happen. No one actually knows what's gonna happen on the day. So yeah, just my ability to kind of not let that me almost feel like I have to show what they expect or what they think is going to happen because I literally don't know. So
Yeah.
yeah,
It's
and
crazy. Just that it's more so like prep maturity, isn't it? In a way.
yeah, and then also just where was my train of thought then? I've completely lost it.
That's right. I did that last podcast.
Where was that going? Nope, it's gone.
Gone, gone. Yeah, I think like from my perspective as well.
I
From
got
a
it. I
You
got it.
got
It's
it.
come
Go
back.
on, go on.
I
I'll
got
say
it.
my perspective next.
Just out of almost sheer stubbornness and me wanting to. I know we just spoke about pressure, but I've almost got a point to prove to myself to be like, no, I can do this. So there's that side of it as well.
Yeah, I think like from my side, it's just you're more matured within your bodybuilding journey. Like everything's better this time around. Your communication's better. Like you you don't you know if there's something wrong, you message me, you talk to me, and it's like there's
Yeah,
always that really ongoing communication. Like we probably talk multiple times a day at this point in time,
yeah,
right? And that helps so much because not subconsciously for you, if you tell me something, it takes stress off you,
yeah,
right? So like that obviously then reduces you less stressed. And yeah, I think in all, mate, like you've just done a really good job of just being fairly chilled out about the whole process. Like there's no,
yeah,
I can't remember a day where you've gone, this has fucking happened. And I mean, your strap snapped on a deadlift today, and you just sent me a video saying like joking around about it, and I
yeah.
was like,
To
fair,
be
like
fair, I'm surprised I handled it. Like, because it was my top set. It just went ping. I was like, oh,
yeah, you just kind of looked at it and went, all right, that's it.
yeah,
But yeah, I think it's just that kind of maturity in the process and not putting too much pressure on yourself. And like, don't like even on the show day, just again try and incorporate what you've done throughout your whole prep by being present, but being present on the show day as well, because you don't want that day to go by and you just remember it as being a
a
stressful
panic. Yeah,
panic. Like,
I
just get
mean,
out there and do your
it
stuff.
probably will be.
Yeah, you that'll be nerves though. That'll
Yeah,
be nerves. And until you're on the stage and you feel like you've got a job to do, where it's like, okay, I've got to hold my poses, I've got to smile, I've got to keep on the judge's eye. You'll be nervous until that point, but you'll probably walk out and you'll do it. You hit your first pose and you'll be like, all right, sound, like I know where I am
yeah,
now, like I
yeah,
know what I'm doing. So yeah, in all, I think this has been a much better prep, and you look better as well.
yeah,
You've been
yeah,
less aggressive throughout. We haven't had to drop food as low, haven't had to put cardio as high. Steps have been lower as well.
yeah,
So I think it's been a very, very smooth prep. I'm not going to jinx it, but
yeah.
it's been a fairly smooth one, and hopefully, it's a good result.
That's the plan. That's the plan.
I've got a question from Josh. He's asked, what does the show day include from start to finish?
That one's for you, Max.
Not much, to be honest. So with a show day, do you want to start right from the start of the day? Just wake up, check in,
Yeah, like
have a
let's
couple
just tell
meals
him what is going to happen on
at the show.
Sunday morning.
Okay, that's Sunday morning. It'll be wake up, check in, set the plan of action for the next couple of hours. Probably check in before we leave the Airbnb, and then get to the venue. Check in at the venue. I mean, like obviously telling them that you're there and stuff, and you're good to go. And then it'll pretty much be probably Denny going um, backstage, and I'll go to watch the show. And then when Denny's class, a couple of classes before Denny, I'll come and see him, and I'll help him pump up and everything like that. And then he'll go on stage. Like it's a lot of show days, and a lot of people, because obviously they're glamorized on the YouTube, but a lot of it is just waiting around
Yeah,
to go on.
because there's a
Like,
lot of people there. Like they
yeah,
need to obviously organize it so it runs as smoothly as it can. So it is just like right, competitors over there, people that are watching over there, everything in between is
yeah,
just wait.
yeah. You'll have probably an athletes meeting as well at the start, where they'll just bring all the athletes in and probably sit you all down. But yeah, a lot from there on, it's I'll just let Denny do his thing. If he wants to watch the show, cool, he can come watch the show. If he doesn't, if he wants to just stay backstage and put his hood up and have music on or do whatever he wants to do, sound, we'll do that. And then I'll just keep checking in on him when he needs it, and when we need to get a visual look as well. And then yeah, help him pump up, and then he's going to do his dance,
Yeah,
and then we'll see where that goes. We'll see where that falls.
Yeah. Hopefully it's not a late one. That's one thing I don't want it to be.
Yeah,
Like an 8 p.m. I'm like, I just want to go to bed.
I think you'll be on stage before 8 p.m. It's just like how long is the show going to go on for? That's the
Yeah.
question, right? Like if there's loads of competitors, you've got to remember a lot of the bodybuilders, they all have their individual routines. So you've got to wait a minute at least for everyone's routine. They've also
Yeah.
got to do comparisons and all of that stuff. So it's going to be, and then they because it's a one run through show, meaning there's no prejudging of finals. It's literally when you're on stage, comparisons. Then, for in a bodybuilding sense, they take you off your individual posing routine back on for a pose down, and then awards. So with men's physique, you probably won't leave the stage, right, until you get your get your trophy or your award or whatever, or your placing. So yeah, unfortunately with show days, it has been glamorized a lot, but a lot of it is just waiting around.
Yeah. Yes.
Josh has also asked, where is the show being held and how long will you be away for?
Just the weekend, Saturday, Sunday.
Yeah.
Just a 24-hour thing, pretty much. And it's at the Ben Hall Arena, is it?
Yeah, the Ben Hall in Rugby.
Ben Hall Hall.
Ben Hall's Hall. Yeah, we're going up. We're staying in Coventry on the Saturday, and then we'll drive over to Rugby on the Sunday, which is about a 20-minute drive. We had a bloody nightmare with that Airbnb as well.
Yeah, I was like, you can sort that. I'm not getting
Yeah, do
involved.
you know what? I didn't tell you until I booked somewhere else.
Yeah,
Because
because I would
I
have just
got
been
the
like,
email,
no.
and I was like, this is when Monday when I was fucked as well, right?
Oh, good.
So I literally got that email because I opened my emails and I got home and I was like, fuck. I was like, they've just cancelled the Airbnb on us. So I looked in Rugby. There was nowhere to stay in Rugby. I was like, brilliant.
Sound.
So I actually got us a nicer Airbnb in Coventry.
Okay.
So works out well, but it's just unfortunate it's not like 3 minutes away from the arena.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, that's kind of it. Got a question from Andy. This probably directed towards me. Chelsea's best ever player. Who do you think Chelsea's best ever player was?
Didier Drogba.
It's a big shout. It's a good shout. I'm
Like
gonna
if we're
say,
just talking like goal scorer.
yeah, I'm gonna say in terms of the player that I love to watch, is Eden Hazard.
Yes. Oh, yeah. Yeah. I changed my mind. Eden
I
Hazard,
just,
because he was electric before he
yeah,
left.
he was ridiculous. He just
He
tore
shouldn't have
people up.
left. He should not have left
No, he shouldn't have. He
because
shouldn't
he
have.
just didn't really do much afterwards, did he?
No. Do you know, like, he's one of those anomalies in the sport that there's like loads of people who talk about him. Because I watched his he was on the John Obi Mikel podcast, and I watched that, and he didn't like try anything in training. Like in training, he barely tried.
Yeah, he was just
He was
gifted.
just naturally gifted, and he
Yeah.
just went on the pitch. And I think at one point there's a goal he scored. I think he was against like West Ham or something, right? And he was backstage, and the manager was giving instructions of what they want the players to do, and he was just playing on his like Nintendo DS, like Mario Kart, right? And
Yeah.
then the manager called him up, and he was like, "I don't care, just give me the ball."
Yeah, give me a ball and I'll win.
And they passed him the ball, and he went around four players and scored.
There you
Literally
go.
in that game,
Yeah,
it's
some people
mental.
have just got it though, haven't they?
Yeah,
Yeah. If you could, because you're playing United tonight, aren't you?
tonight I'm gonna watch
Hey,
that.
I'll be watching it. Yeah.
I want to hopefully batter them so we can get into the top
Yeah.
four.
Just so you're just not as far down.
Mate, do you know there's actually a scenario where Arsenal can finish out the top four?
Yeah, I'm just looking at the table now.
Because how
It's
many
unlikely, but we've
how
got
many points are
Newcastle to
Chelsea
play
away from?
tomorrow.
5 away from Arsenal.
What's that?
How many points are Chelsea away from Arsenal? 5,
5,
yeah.
yeah.
So if you lost both your games and everyone else won, you could be
Yeah.
out the top.
So hopefully we take a draw this evening at least.
Who are you playing this evening?
No, tomorrow. Sorry, Newcastle. So it's going to be an interesting game.
I'd actually like you to win that if you can, please.
Who are City playing?
Like,
This is now a football podcast. City are playing Palace. Well, City have won that.
yeah, but Palace are playing quite well, and they've got a final against
Oh yeah,
City.
so
Oh no,
Arsenal
that's
playing
a FA
Sunday.
Cup. That'll be FA Cup, won't it? It's not Prem.
Oh yes, it is. Yeah, yeah. It's the FA Cup final, so they
Yeah,
won't be playing till like Tuesday, Wednesday.
yeah.
Oh, they're playing Bournemouth, so yeah.
That's a tough game.
Is it?
Bournemouth are a good side this season, bro.
So yeah.
We'll see. I'm
I mean,
hoping
either
just
way, it's been a bit of a flop for Arsenal if you think about it. Like we've just bowled it once again.
yeah. You're at second. You pretty much. I can't see you not getting Champions League football.
Oh yeah, of course. But it's more, well, we just need a striker.
Yeah.
Like, we're
Who?
playing
Which striker would you have?
anyone,
Anyone? You can
just
have
an
Nicholas
actual
Jackson
striker,
if you want.
just a striker.
Have Nicholas Jackson, Chelsea
Oh yeah,
striker.
maybe not,
He's
maybe
a
not.
donkey.
He was playing alright for a little bit, then he just like fell off the face of the earth.
Mate, last weekend we played Newcastle and we just elbowed someone in the head and got sent off within like 12 minutes. I was like, Sam,
Good,
I was like,
just
that's
what you
us
want.
lost to like, Newcastle then, isn't it?
Oh dear.
Yeah, not.
Do I have any more? So Abby from the gym, Abs gets gains. She says, "What's something you didn't expect to feel slash happen this prep?" I wouldn't say didn't expect to feel, but just how at ease I am with it, I guess. Like before I started, I was like, "Oh God, here we go again." Like we're starting prep again, but it's just kind of yeah, just gone through pretty smoothly as we spoke about. So yeah, nothing's really happened out of the blue. So just it's gone good, which
Yeah,
I wouldn't say I didn't expect, but it was kind of like that. Like I'm going into this again, it needs to be better, sort of thing.
yeah. Where's your like mindset at with like the other shows? Are you just solely concentrate on this first one and then as soon as that's done, it'll be
Yeah,
solely concentrate on the second? Yeah,
yeah. Like I can't say I've thought about the
giving
other
it a
two, to be
second
honest.
thought. Yeah,
Yeah, it's just like I'm 9 days out. That's what it
yeah.
is. It's
That's
not, oh,
that's
I'm
the
nine
best
days
thing to
out
do.
and 20 days out, or whatever the difference between the two is. That's how much I don't know because I don't actually know. Is it 2 weeks in between?
It's 13 days.
8 days, yeah. So
Yeah, because your
yeah,
second show is actually on a Saturday, and that's the one in Luton. And then
yeah,
obviously the third show we haven't booked yet, so we probably need to book that at some point. But we'll get this first show out of the way first.
yeah.
See where
And then
that
we'll go
goes.
from there.
Usually you get like I think they cap it at like 2 weeks out, so you'd be
Okay.
fine to book that after your first show.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it's been a good prep, mate. We're talking like it's the end, and you've still got
Yeah.
another.
Yeah. We ain't fucking there
No, I
yet.
was about to say we've got what 5 weeks left.
Yeah.
Mate, that's mental, isn't it? That is
Yeah.
absolutely wild, like how quickly time goes.
Yeah. Just like from last year as well, like there's a whole year that's gone by since,
Yeah,
which is mad.
yeah, it is pretty crazy. I remember like because I was in Barcelona, and I'm looking back at all my holidays now. I'm like, how was that a year ago? Like I
Yeah.
was in Barcelona.
Yeah. Like this time last year, my head was falling off.
Yeah, you were
It was
gone.
down the road.
You were gone, bro.
I
You were
was not in a good spot, which maybe we'll touch on in a little bit more detail after this prep.
Yeah, I think it'd be good to just do like an overall maybe comparison,
Yeah.
and then once you've competed as well, you'll probably have a little bit of like hindsight with it, and
Yeah.
you can kind of look back on it and go, oh, okay, this is what worked well. There's every single prep, even if like this one's gone really smoothly, there's always things that you can learn and improve for the following
Yeah.
preps.
Of
So
course.
it's like with the first show, right? Like we'll do the first show and we'll have an idea of things that we can do better for the second show. It's
Yeah.
always the case. You're always looking to improve. So, I always say to people as well, like when you do your first show, don't that may not be the best look of your season. The best look of your season may be your second show or your third
Yeah.
show. Like the more data you get and the more practice you get, like for example, you might go in your first show and your posing might be a bit off because you're stressed and you're nervous, right?
Yeah.
And you maybe don't get on things as much as you usually would. But once those nerves are out the way, the second show you might be pretty solid.
Yeah.
But to be honest, I don't think that'll happen with you because you're pretty solid with your posing anyway. You practice vigorously, quite
Pretty much
consistently as
daily.
well.
Yeah.
Yeah. Speaking of Abby, I just signed up her boyfriend as well,
Saw
Leon.
that. That's
Big
going to be a
Leon.
good one.
Yeah, he's got a decent amount of muscle as well, so he's
Yeah.
going to be an exciting guy to have on the team. He's a big guy, big guy.
Yeah.
So
What's obviously without going into too much detail, what sort of goals has he got?
So I've set him up with just doing a quick little tidy up phase, drop around like 8 to 10 kilos, and then we'll
That'd be
go.
good for them both because she's just started prep, so they can both diet together.
Yeah, yeah, but hopefully he won't be getting as lean as her, so he'll just get in a nice shape where we've got a long runway of growth, and then we can really, pack
Yeah,
on even more size, which will be that'll be very exciting, very
nice.
exciting.
That'd be a good
But yeah,
one.
I don't have any more questions. Actually, I do have two more questions from Andy, and I'm not reading them on the podcast. So I'll get a message from my mum when this podcast released saying you need to stop airing Andy's questions.
Well, I've got one from Andy, and it's pretty tame. So, do you let your dog lick your face?
I don't have a dog.
No,
I
I
let
do
my
not.
my cats lick my face.
I just think it's a bit dirty, to be honest.
Do you not like? I don't have a say in it though, so you know.
Are they like
Right. Okay. I'm gonna explain myself.
lion-sized
Right.
cats?
I'm explaining myself. I don't just go up to my cat and go lick me. Right. So in the morning, every single morning, right? Baz will wake up at whatever time Basil wants to wake up, and usually it's around 5:30 to 6 o'clock. So usually it's the time I usually wake up, but he he gets hungry in the morning, where to the point where he climbs on me and licks my face constantly to wake me up because he knows that that's gonna get me up and feed him.
Oh, Baz the alarm clock.
Yeah, so he's basically the and a cat's tongue is rough as shit, bro. They're like Velcro tongues. They're horrible.
Yeah, that's one thing that really annoys me with animals. It's like when they're licking their paws, just that sound. It's some sort of like audio phobia because it just makes me cringe. I don't know what you call it, but it just grates on me. So yeah,
Yeah.
the answer is no, Andy.
Yeah, well, I suppose I don't let Baz, but he does. So
He does. Max wakes up, so oh, it's almost
I'm
time to
like,
get up. Come here, Baz.
yeah, I'm like, what? No, usually I'm like, what the fuck's that? My
Get off
nose
me,
is like
Katie.
getting licked, and I'm like, fucking hell. But sometimes he'll lick me and then bite me. I'm
Oh,
like,
good.
right, you're getting sent off the bed, mate.
Yeah, yeeted across the room.
Yeah, literally.
Yeah,
Right, should we cap it there, mate?
yeah,
I know
mate.
you're a busy guy, and I want you to chill out on your Friday night, especially at 9 days out. So, guys,
Sure.
if you haven't, go check out my YouTube. Dirty little plug. I'll be filming again. You're gonna start YouTube soon, aren't you? Soon
I'd
you're
like to post prep. Yeah,
it's on your to-do list. But I'll link it in the description below, so please go check that out. But if you've enjoyed this video, make sure you leave a like, comment, subscribe, and share it on your stories if you fancy it. And then we'll catch you after the first show. Cheers, guys.